of YouTube. So I kind of want to touch on this article from Cosmic Book News, where Disney basically admits that Marvel and Star Wars drove away men, and they're now scrambling to win them back. And Variety of all places and a lot of other media news have reported this within the last week or so, that Disney executives are now actively pressuring creatives for new movies to lure back Gen Z men from the ages of 13 to 28 after Marvel and Lucasfilm have shed audiences at an alarming rate. The headline should be actually all men, not just Gen Z. Despite being $1 billion engine, Star Wars hasn't released a film in 7 years, and Marvel's latest film, Fantastic Four: First Steps, is bombing in the box office, which follows a string of MCU bombs from Kevin Feige, including Thunderbolts and Captain America: Brave New World Order. So it seems like they're doubling back on it. And that's kind of Disney's own fault, because Disney doesn't really like to listen to criticism. Fans have been saying for years their problems that they've had with these Marvel movies and Star Wars movies, how, for one, the Marvel movies, they don't know how to stop with these jokes, like how it always has a joke and quip every second, like ever since the first Avengers movie. People have been getting tired of that. And then two, especially with the recent movies from Phase 4 and Phase 5, we still have a little bit of the MCU female agenda in there, where basically you'll watch a show expecting it to be about one character, and then a female character of little importance takes over, such as Talos's daughter from Secret Invasion being the main character at the end and basically having the biggest balls, and was able to one-shot the Super Skrull, and he wasn't even able to do anything to her. Yeah, the little 4 foot tall woman. Yeah. Or how you have like these short women that are like 4'11" that's beating up these 6 foot tall, 300-pound beefy dudes, and you expect us to believe that. Or things such as forced female gender swaps that make no sense and serve no purpose, such as the female gender swap Taskmaster in Black Widow, which destroyed that movie. People just want good stories. You don't have to force a woman in there to make it seem like, oh yeah, well, it's cool because we're being progressive, we got a strong woman in there. But you've always had Black Widow though, and she didn't need to be in the main front. We just knew she was good at kicking ass, basically, because they had this little narrative forced on us. And it's not just Marvel. DC did it. DC tried to do it with the DCEU. Amazon tried doing it a little bit with their Rings of Power. Just make good stories, compelling stories. We want the originals again. Instead of making a Black Panther Wakanda Forever that doesn't have the Black Panther in there, why not wait a couple of years, scrap whatever you were making right then and there? I don't care because you'll make the money back. People might try to make excuses for Disney, but scrap it. It was a hard situation because Chadwick Boseman passed away. So what you could have did is you could have shut that project down for a couple of years, and then after you get your new T'Challa, then you start it back up. Simple as that. Instead of doing that, they just push out garbage. Ironheart, that was a fail. They released all 6 episodes basically in a week or so. The first week was the 3 episodes, and the next week was the last 3 episodes. That's how you really know shows like Echo and Ironheart are terrible, if they only got 6 episodes. Because what are we doing here? Why are we wasting so much money into these shows for them to have this little of content? She-Hulk was another egregious example. Let's not forget about She-Hulk basically telling the Hulk that she can control her anger more than him because she's a woman and she gets catcalled in the streets. Like that show. And what's kind of getting annoying and out of hand with She-Hulk, I'm starting to see people on Reddit pages and things like that go back and say, oh, She-Hulk is actually pretty good, it's not that bad. No, She-Hulk was a piece of shit. She-Hulk was terrible, and everything wrong with Marvel, and everything you should not strive to do if you are trying to do a TV show that's supposed to be a parody. If it's a parody, then why are a lot of people pissed at it? Because obviously you didn't do the character justice. I'm not laughing at none of the jokes, and I don't think it's funny. I think it's offensive if somebody like She-Hulk is berating somebody like Iron Man because he's rich. She just thinks of him as a rich billionaire, even though he did the snap on Thanos. So yeah, there's a lot of other reasons besides just this forced female empowerment and terrible way that they like to tell these stories. Oh, how about underdeveloped characters like Sam Wilson's Captain America? Because I went back and rewatched older Marvel films like Captain America and The Winter Soldier, and I actually did like Sam Wilson, Anthony Mackie, Falcon. I did like Anthony Mackie's Sam Wilson's Falcon character, because he seems like a cool backup to Steve Rogers, and he'll go out of his way to help him out, get the information and intel he needs on who's betraying him in that situation with S.H.I.E.L.D. When they just decided to make him Captain America in the Avengers Endgame movie, which felt like a slap in the face to Bucky, because that scene felt like it should have just went to Bucky, but he was just like, here you go, and it just didn't feel earned. And then we get the TV show where the first episode he gives up the shield, doesn't want to be Captain America because he thinks it's ridiculous for a black Captain America. So he gives up the shield, and then by the end of the episode, the government decides they're going to just put up a new Captain America anyway, John Walker, and then he's pissed. So why are you pissed when you were the one that gave up the shield? So then there's this whole internal conflict with him thinking he may not be good enough. He gets a training montage, which was actually pretty inspired. But then out of nowhere, he's Captain America with the Captain America suit, even though he was unsure and had these conflicting emotions. And off screen, he has this ugly suit, and he can't even finish most of his fights because he's not Steve Rogers. We need better character development for these stories too. Looks like, unfortunately, with the release of Fantastic Four, even though the movie I thought was pretty good, and it's not doing that good at the box office due to other factors, looks like we can't have our cake and eat it too, because Fantastic Four was pretty good to me. Pretty fantastic, I should say. And last summer we had Deadpool and Wolverine, which was amazing. But then we had garbage that came out after that, such as Agatha All Along, and then same thing with this month. Prior to Fantastic Four, we had the Ironheart series, which I reviewed. That series was garbage and unnecessary. So it looks like we're getting some more garbage and unnecessary with Brian Andrews' Marvel Zombies, which is following up the Marvel Zombies episode from What If. It has the same crappy What If animation. It basically picks up where that left off, where you see the zombie Thanos wielding the Infinity Gauntlet, and you see now we have a bunch of new characters, a lot of D and C list characters that nobody gives a crap about. And come on, I know nobody was coming to watch this show to see Marvel's Katie from Shang-Chi and David Harbour as Red Guardian. And Shang-Chi, we're gonna have zombie Scarlet Witch return. A main character is supposed to be Jimmy Woo, that jackass Asian guy from Ant-Man and WandaVision. Ant-Man, who had his head cut off, he's coming back pretty much to be comic relief. Yelena looks like she's going to be the main character. I don't know why Marvel keeps on wanting people to like this character so much. This character sucks. I did not care for this character in Black Widow, and I certainly did not care for this character in Hawkeye or the new Thunderbolts movie. He's just boring, this character. She comes across as a character that tries to be funny, even though this character is supposed to have an emotional backstory. But then she's always telling jokes and trying to be funny. But then her face gives off like, you must laugh at my joke. It's like, you're not funny, just shut up, bitch. And then the next character looks like Wyatt Russell, John Walker. He's gonna be in this show. Haley Steinfeld, Kate Bishop, we saw her in the trailer. It looks like she's gonna be putting one up over Hawkeye, because I saw that. It looks like she takes out the zombie Clint Barton Hawkeye, I guess as a symbolism, as that to say that she's better than him. We have Dominique Thorne, Riri Williams back in this show, so I guess they did not learn their lesson from the shows that failed. Riri Williams, Kamala Khan, and also this part kind of annoys me too. So this is gonna be the first time we're getting Blade. I'm not counting Deadpool and Wolverine because that's the old school Blade, but this is the first time we're getting Blade after the Eternals. This is supposed to be Mahershala Ali's Blade, since the ugly animation is based on his face. However, this is played by Todd Williams, who's supposed to be like a Moon Knight Blade, so that we're not even getting Blade, it's just Blade with a sword, but he's wearing Moon Knight's costume. So I think that that's pretty lame. Spider-Man is supposed to be in this, but I'm pretty sure he's only going to be in 2 episodes, not all 4. And then we will have a few other characters that are going to be zombies. It looks like Abomination's a zombie. Steve Rogers is back as a zombie Hawkeye, which we saw in the trailer. Ghost, zombie Carol Danvers, Captain Captain Marvel, Zombie Icarus from the Eternals, and Zombie Okoye and Namor. Yeah, I think that this is gonna be a terrible show. You're better off just reading the Marvel Zombies comic, where Mystique pretty much goes around biting people disguised as regular people, but she's actually infected, and that's how everybody turns. That's way more interesting than however this turned out. This is basically just Marvel Zombies, but in the Infinity Saga, which, like, we can't do anything better than just having it take place in the same MCU story. So I think this is going to be terrible. This is going to be a waste of time. This will be another time waster, just like the Eyes of Wakanda series. So you're better off just skipping this. That's what I plan on doing. You got Marvel movies that are horrible, and then you got DC movies that are horrible too. So it's like, damn, Marvel sucks, DC sucks. Now where do I go?